Hi friends, Krista here. Thanks for stopping by Books and Jams. I'm really excited about today's video. Many of you may know that for the last couple of years, my Booktube Besties, Sarah, Amanda, and Lindsey, and I have hosted a virtual reading retreat. This past August, just a few weeks ago, we had our 5th reading retreat. We did one the first year, and then for the last couple of years, we've done 2, a winter one and a summer one. What this reading retreat is basically we have about 50 people who come and spend 24 hours with us online on Zoom. We do a lot of different things throughout the years, throughout the retreats. We have changed a few things up, but one thing that has stayed the same every time is we allow each person who comes to recommend one book to everybody else. And since the first retreat, I have wanted to share what are some of the recommendations that I got that I'm the most interested in. Each time I think about it, I write them all down. I have such a big list, and each time I just don't do it. Today is a different story. Today we are going to do it. I'm going to share with you 11 of the recommendations that came during that retreat that I think are for me, that I'm the most excited about. 5 of them I actually already own the books, and then 6 others are just definitely on my radar now more than they were before. So I'm going to go ahead and tell you what these books are that I'm talking about, the ones that are the most interesting to me, because I love a book list and many of you do as well. So here are 11 books that were recommended on my retreat. Hopefully I will get to these soon. Now, with 50 people making recommendations, not all of them are up my alley. There were a lot of thrillery, darker, steamier books that just don't appeal to me. But these are the ones that do. And some of them I've read already, like The Measure and Tress of the Emerald Sea and The Lazy Genius Way. Those are the 3 this time that I have already read. And here are some that I haven't yet read, but want to. We're going to start with the ones that are already on my shelves. Actually, one of them is kind of a cheat because I bought it from Pango during the retreat. But 4 of them were already on my shelves. And I think one that I'm very interested in, this was on an anticipated reads list of mine last year, I believe is when it came out. And that is No Two Persons by Erica Bauermeister. This one was recommended by Lori, and it just sounds so good. We follow, I think in this story, this book, as different people interact with it, we learn about how it impacts each of them differently. Here's the short summary that I think can explain it a little bit better than I can. 1 book, 9 readers, 10 changed lives. These stories reveal how books can affect us in the most beautiful and unexpected of ways, and how we are all more closely connected to one another than we might think. I just think this is a book for book lovers, and it's already on my shelves. I'm already anticipating it. And I've read books by Erica Bauermeister before and really enjoyed them. So I'm just excited to try another book by her. Another one that was already on my shelves was recommended by Tia, and this one is Sipsworth by Simon Van Bowie. And this one was sent to me by the author or the publisher, I think, Godin. It's a short little book with an elderly protagonist. Enough said. I just love an elderly protagonist. This one takes place over the course of 2 weeks, and we follow this woman who's dealt with some loss recently and struggling to want to continue on with life, and then over the course of a couple weeks, different things happen that change her perspective. So I'm very excited to read this one. Sounds right up my alley. Another one that I just picked up relatively recently, but I've been eyeing for a while, is Ross Poldark by Winston Graham. And this one was recommended by Michaela. It's the start of a series, quite a long series, and there is an adaptation on PBS maybe? I haven't watched it at all. But whenever I've seen a trailer for it or a little clip of it, I just feel like it's going to be something that I love. It's historical, it takes place in Cornwall. This one is from 1783 to 1787. We follow Ross Poldark in this first one, who comes back from a war in America, finds out that his dad is dead. The woman he was going to marry married his cousin instead, and his estate is kind of falling apart. So that's where we're starting things off with this one. And I just feel like I'm going to love it. I don't know, but I'm eager to try it and see what I'm going to think. The next one was recommended by Andy, and she picked Astrid and Veronica by Linda Olson. I am interested in this one because it's female friendship, in particular, a female friendship across generations. So we have an older woman and a younger woman. I don't know what brings them together. I know one or both of them is dealing with some grief, and I know this takes place in New Zealand or Australia, one of those two. So I'm very excited about this one. It's been on my shelves for a little while. So maybe I need to up my game. It is pretty short. Could it be a Shorty September book? I don't know what qualifies as Shorty September. It's 246 pages. And the final one that I actually bought while on the retreat is Iona Iverson's Rules for Commuting by Claire Pooley. I have Authenticity Project by Claire Pooley, and this one has been on my want to read list for quite a while. When I heard Rosemary talk about this one, I immediately went over to Pango and just bought it because that's already been one that was on my radar. I think this is going to be a feel-good story about these people who all commute together, and typically they don't interact, don't talk to each other at all until one day something happens that starts conversation between them, and then the commute changes as they start to get to know each other and as they start to share their lives a little bit more with each other. I just feel like this is going to be a really lovely read, and I can't wait to read it. Iona Iverson's Rules for Commuting. And then I have 6 more books that I'm very interested in, and I'm actually going to add one more to that list, so we're going to have 7 more. But let me go through these ones as well. First off, we have James by Percival Everett. This one has been on my radar. I'm not sure I'm going to love it, but I'm curious enough about it. And this one was recommended by Debbie. And it's a almost retelling, I guess, of Huckleberry Finn, but from James' perspective. In Huckleberry Finn, he's called Jim. He's the enslaved man who Huck Finn brings on the boat with him. So in James, it's the same kind of a story, but told from a different perspective. So I'm curious about that. It is literary fiction, a retelling, basically. Interested. We'll see. Then I have 2 middle grade books that were recommended that I just think sound so good. One of them was The Worlds We Leave Behind by A.F. Harold and Levi Pinfold, who is the illustrator. Or both of them might be illustrators. I'm not sure. But Katie recommended this one. And Katie is someone who participates in the middle grade March book clubs, and I trust her middle grade recommendations. And this one sounds so good. So we follow this boy named Hex who doesn't always understand why he does the things the way he does. He's a middle schooler and gets out of control sometimes. And he gets really frustrated one day and goes out to the woods and talks to this woman in the woods who said that she can erase basically the things that he doesn't like about what has happened or about his past. He's not sure what he wants to do about that, but then goes back and his best friend, Tomo, wakes up the next day and something feels wrong. He has kind of these whispering memories in his brain, but he can't really put it all together. Feels like something is missing or someone is missing from his life. What's going on? So it sounds slightly creepy, slightly fantastical, magical realism maybe, I don't know, but also like big feelings. I like that there's boy main characters having these big feelings. So I'm very curious about that one and trust Katie's recommendation. The other middle grade is called A Spoonful of Time by Flora Ahn. This one was recommended by Amy from Amy's Bookish Life here on Booktube. And I also love Amy's middle grade recommendations. She reads a ton as well, both for her job as an English teacher to middle schoolers and because she just loves middle grade. But this one, A Spoonful of Time, is a middle grade book about cooking and family, and I'm so in. And our main character and her family, they're Korean. So I just think that that's really cool. It's a way that she's bonded with her grandmother. And there's a time travel element to this one as well, as our main character cooks with her grandmother. As they taste some of the food, this Korean food that they're learning how to make, they're like transported back into the grandma's memories, I believe, or something along those lines. So I love the time travel element. I love the food element. I love the family element. I really just think that this is going to be a book that I love. Totally different vein is Assistant to the Villain. And I know that this one is super popular right now. This is by Hannah Nicole Mehrer. I don't know how to say that last name. This one was recommended by Brittany, who also has a channel. And I will link people who have channels. I'll link them down below so that you can go check them out if you like the books that they have recommended. Assistant to the Villain is, I think, a cozy fantasy. We do follow a woman who becomes the assistant to the villain. There's going to be a little bit of a romance in there. I think it's going to be really humorous, laugh out loud funny. I just saw one description that said it's The Office meets Once Upon a Time, which is the show that I used to love about 7 years ago. I love that combination. I can't imagine how it's all going to go together. And I've just heard so many people talking about this one. I'm not positive it's going to be for me, but I'm curious and would love to read it. Also, in kind of the cozy and Korean vein, we have Welcome to the Hunam Dong Bookshop by Hwang Bo Riem. Oh, Shannon is the translator. This is like a cozy bookshop. I mean, that's really all I needed to know. This one was recommended by PJ and loved her description of it and how it made her feel. And I think I'm going to love it. And basically we follow a career woman who is doing so great in her job, but kind of feels burnt out a little bit and that she has left some dreams behind. So she quits her job, moves out to the country or a small town, and opens up a bookshop. We kind of go from there as she struggles with opening up a bookshop and meeting the people in her new town and having so much change in her life. I think it sounds like something I'm going to really love. It feels cozy and delightful. And it's set in a bookshop, so what could go wrong? The next one was recommended by Layna, who also has a channel, and it is The Lost Girls by Heather Young. And this one is probably the most thrillery / intense one on the list. Sounds like it has a dual timeline, and the past timeline is 1935, where some kids go out into the woods and one of them disappears and only one comes back. We follow that one who came back for decades, and then in the present day timeline, we follow her niece or granddaughter or something who gets kind of obsessed with what happened back in the day, and it moves into the old house, or I don't know exactly. I don't remember all the details, but I loved Layna's description of it. And it just sounds like it would be an intense read, but something that I can handle because I don't always handle thrillers very well, often because of content. But this one sounds like it'll be something that I would really like. So The Lost Girls by Heather Young. It's kind of a historical mystery thriller. Is that a thing? And the final one that I'm just adding to the list because it was kind of written on the side and I forgot about it is Jamie's recommendation, which is a historical romance, and it's called The Wisteria Society of Lady Scoundrels. And in this one, we have a woman who's a thief, has to rescue her aunt from a pirate, set in Victorian era. And that's all I needed to know. I think the cover is gorgeous. It sounds like a fun romp. I don't know exactly how open door, closed door it is, but I'm willing to give it a try because it sounds like a lot of fun. So thanks, Jamie and Layna and Amy and Jen and everyone else for all of your recommendations, and everyone else who also gave recommendations. I did write more than 11 or 12 down, but those are the ones that I'm the most excited for. Let me know if you've read any of these, if you think they are definitely up my alley or not. I would love to hear that as well. And thanks for those who have participated in a virtual reading retreat. We do plan to have more, and hopefully if you missed it, you get to come to the next one. We'll see. Thanks so much for watching today and spending some time of your day with me. I hope that you're having a wonderful day wherever you are, whatever you're doing. I appreciate you very much and am thankful for you. So have a great day. I'll talk to you in another video very soon. Bye.